Why is your hobby not fun anymore? There was a version of you who used to bake for fun, or draw in the margins of a notebook, or spend a whole afternoon doing something that has nothing to do being useful, but still very much enjoyed it. But that person seems left behind. Welcome to Off Hour, where we build our joyful lives together, and today we're going to talk about hobbies. Specifically, why our hobbies are not that fun anymore. This is what I think of the problems of hobbies in adulthood. When we grow up, we put our hobbies in a non-essential box and don't give much attention to it. There are reasons for that, of course. We are getting busier and busier in life, taking on more responsibility, have loads of things to do. We care more about the results, the performative results, where we judge things based on the outcomes. And when we choose to do something or choose not to do something, we calculate the ROI in our mind. By the way, the fact that I'm using ROI as a word here tells part of the story already. Hobbies, though, by nature, hobbies don't give us money, fame, status, or productivity. So it seems less important, less worth it. And as we get busier in life, we naturally deprioritize hobbies, even if we emotionally think it's very important. The result is that we don't take our hobbies seriously anymore, as if investing too much in hobbies is like losing focus in your life, like I'm doing something that I'm not supposed to be doing. So even if we don't notice it, sometimes we value our hobbies less. When we don't value it, we start to give it less intention and effort. We don't invest in as much in hobbies anymore. And when we invest less, that means the impact that hobbies bring back to us become less as well. And when you don't see much impact from hobbies, we start to value it even less. So it's like a loop where we just care about our hobbies less and less. To make our hobbies fun again, we need to break the loop. But before we get into how to break the loop, I want to share with you my story with baking because it's the clearest real experience that can explain the whole thing. I started to love baking when I was super young, and I remember that I had a collection of all the recipes from a children's magazine, the baking column. Every time after I read the whole magazine, I will cut that recipe off from the magazine and collect them in my little folder. I remember that I made microwave cakes, strawberry daifuku, the strawberry mochi. There were a lot of disasters, but since then I've been enjoying cooking and baking specifically for so long. I don't even care about the results. I just enjoy the process. My favorite activity during winter break or summer break was learning baking from YouTube video and trying to do all sorts of experiments in my little kitchen. For me, baking was almost like magic or chemical experiment. I was just so into it. And then when I grew older, I started to take it more seriously. I started to learn from like real deal baking recipe books, to the point I even went to culinary school to learn how to bake. That was the peak of my baking era. I spent time and money and effort in baking. All I got from baking is joy. I love it so much. I think until the last year of my college, I got busier. That's where I actually went into adulthood, and I didn't really have much free time to bake anymore. And I realized that even if when I pick up baking from time to time during my busy life, I don't enjoy that much, because I started to think about many other things, but think about why am I even baking this? I started to judge the results more and think about the time I spent in baking. Should I be spending the time in something more useful or whatever? And at some point I felt like baking didn't bring me as much joy anymore. I don't feel that passion in baking anymore, and I thought maybe it's just baking was not a thing for me anymore. Until I watched someone doing things differently. My mom's biggest hobby is hiking. She's not a pro hiker in any sense, but she's been loving it for a few decades. When I look at her passion in hiking, I realize we are treating our hobbies in a different way. She invests a lot in hiking, even if she's not pro at all. And she invests in equipment, she does regular training, and she will do everything for the journey. Get up early, get on a train, like a very, if we want to go to those hiking places, the conditions in those places are usually not that great. And she's fine with all that. From all the things she does for hiking, I can see that she takes it really seriously. And every time when she's back from a journey, she's so proud. She would talk about the journey non-stop, at the same time planning for the next one. There's something that I can see, and that's something I think I lost in baking. I feel so inspired when I saw my mom being so serious about hiking, and I made my mind to start to bake more seriously again. And when I say serious, it's not like I need to go back to culinary school again or I need to spend all my time baking. It's more of an attitude where when I flip through the cookbooks, I deep dive into it and think about how am I going to tweak the recipes. And when I really start to bake, I started to encourage myself to put more effort in it for a better result. And sometimes I imagine that I'm baking in the tent in the Great British Bake Off. My cake is going to be judged by Paul Hollywood. That's where I found back the joy of baking again. And really it's just that I need to get more seriously about it. And during this story where I had my passion in baking, lost it, and eventually found it back, this is where I realized that sometimes we think we lost our hobby, we lost our passion in the hobbies. It's just because we don't take it seriously. So why does this matter? First off, hobbies are important. A lot of research have shown that how hobbies can increase our happiness, reduce stress, help people enjoy the journey of learning and growing, and build community and connection. There are tons of benefits from hobbies, which we probably know, but only if we take it seriously. The hobby will not be buried by other things. And when we do it more seriously, the reward we get from the hobbies will be more impactful. Because we invest in it, we get more sense of fulfillment. We can actually do something that we are proud of, and we will be better at it. And once we get better at it, we will start to enjoy more. This is a loop. Where you break the loop that make your hobby less fun, you can build this loop to make your hobbies more and more worthwhile. And here's a point that is actually the most important part for me. Hobbies remind people that life is bigger than work. Do you remember that I said that when we grow up, we start to judge things based on the results? I think that's because most of the things that we do now is largely related to work. And when you're doing your hobby, you're building a self that's not defined by the work or responsibility or the external standards. It's someone outside of work. So if you take these points into account, taking your hobbies more seriously is actually making yourself fuller and more substantial. So at this point, I hope that I have convinced you to take your hobby more seriously. But how do we do it? First off, I want you to rediscover your hobby. If that seems too far away from you already, take it out from that non-essential box, dust it off, and give it the attention that it deserves. And I suggest you to take your hobby as a part of your identity. Give yourself a title. Like for me, when I'm baking, I'm not just a person who are baking. I am a professional home baker. That's the title I gave myself, because when you take your hobbies as a part of your identity, the impact from it is completely different. It's basically like saying that the thing I'm doing actually tells part of who I am. And to make sure that you actually do it, make some time and space dedicated to your hobby. It doesn't need to be like very strict or rigorous. For example, how about 3 hours every week? 3 hours, it doesn't matter on which day, but you're going to spend that hours in your hobby and make a dedicated room for it. It can just be a desk, a corner of your living room, whatever, and you can use digital space as well. Create a blog for it or create an Instagram account for it. It's not for showing to anyone else. It's just to create a dedicated place where your hobby and the world around it can exist. And also set goals and standards with your hobby. But these goals and standards should only matter to you. This is a healthy push. So this will be the dream result you want out of your craft, or the dream self you want to be after doing certain things. This gives you something to pursue, and this can help you to get that excitement when you achieve something. And when you actually achieve your goals or reach your standards, celebrate it. Celebrate every progression or milestone, even the tiniest ones. We forget about the ceremonies when we are just doing the things by ourselves. But this is actually something not only fun to do, but also important to build that momentum. If I bake something that's so good, looks perfect, tastes perfect, maybe I can't get a handshake from Hollywood, but that doesn't stop me from crowning myself as a star baker for myself. And although I say that set goals and celebrate your achievement, all these things can be super flexible because this is your hobby, this is your world. Give yourself a ton of flexibility. The time, the space, change your goal when you want to, change the way you do XYZ. You can define what is best, what is the highest standard. And all these things we do, there's a rule. We take our hobbies seriously. But all these standards, goals, and everything, they must matter the most to you. And at this point, I want to go back to what I said at the beginning. The version of yourself who used to do things just because you loved it. Spend hours on things that has nothing to do being useful, but still enjoyed it full-heartedly. That version of ourselves has never actually left. It's just not been taken seriously by life, by the circumstance, and eventually by ourselves. I said that taking hobbies more seriously can make it fun again. But I think it's actually more than that. It's inviting that version of yourself back to your life. It's building a version of yourself that make you a fuller, more interesting person who can enjoy the more colorful version of the life. And by now, are you ready to take your hobbies more seriously again? On that note, thank you so much for spending time with me again, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye!